What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Planetbase. There is a sandstorm imminent, which means that I just got to wait this out. On the plus side, that does mean that all my turbines are going to be hustling all night out there grinding, getting it done. Look at you guys, just doing a good old job out here. I'm so proud of you. We shouldn't be draining power like hardly at all once we have a sandstorm coming through. I did put in a whole bunch of wind turbines in the previous episode, so our power grid's going to expand out in this direction. Hopefully nothing happens. I mean, the only thing that I could see happening here that would cause an issue is if a meteor hits one of the junctions. So if we have this all set up out here like a big flower, this then would be the root that tethers it to the earth of our planet-based loins. And so if it's broken by a meteor, I suppose that'll cause a bunch of problems. It is hot in here right now. It's weird. It's not that hot outside, but I keep having to go out and do chores. So it's one of those weird recording days where I have a bunch of other stuff to get done because I'm leaving for vacation tonight. Going out of town for a couple of days so that I can clear my head. I can get back on board with the way that I want to do the channel. It's also a family holiday, so gonna spend some time with the fam. It should be a lot of fun. But because of that, I've been working OT this week. Like, it doesn't even matter that I've got all my recordings in place and all my uploads are good to go. It's just that, like, there's so many things on the side that I'm actively leaving the house and trying to get set up. It's almost more stressful going on vacation than not going on vacation. But I'm hoping that once I get out by the ocean and we're just chilling for a couple of days, it'll get all nice and better. I forgot what I was talking about before that. I think I was talking about something, but I can't remember what it was. So in the previous episode, we had a number of things that needed to be sorted out. Our base is a little bit in recovery right now, which I think is a very, very good thing. I'm hoping that this cafeteria down here... You know, it's hard to tell who's going to go over here. I keep hoping that this one will take a little bit of the pressure off of this one. It doesn't need to take much pressure off, just a little bit for it to be worth it. But, you know, I think I probably could have gone with the smaller model, and it would have worked out better. I probably shouldn't have used a medium over here. Maybe later on I'll come back through and clean it up. I've been actually thinking about moving the airport over to here, getting rid of this so I have a little bit of buildable space right here, and then moving the airlock maybe to this side right here or something like that, or maybe like putting it out on this end. We already have one right there. We already have one right there, so I think all the exits are covered to our base for right now. It's kind of funny, but I try to think of the airlocks as a temporary structure, and I don't know if that's the right way to think about it, because some people will probably say that I have efficiency issues. For sure, I do, no problem. I can accept that. However, I think of them personally as disposable. Like, once you've actually gotten the use out of them and you need to put something else in their place, don't worry about it. Just do it, you know, and then fill in the space with other things. This storage over here is really, really full. And whereas we could use another one, I could actually just get rid of some of this starch while waiting for one of the trade ships to get here. I've been watching the food very tentatively the whole time because I want to make sure that before I take new immigrants that I'm not getting myself into trouble by biting off more than I can chew here. I'm not trying to be punny with regards to food, but it is what it is. We got ourselves a trader. I'll probably offload a whole bunch of starch right here. Like, if I could give this guy... Oh, you've only got medical stuff? Alright, well, that's good enough. I will take all of your moolahs. Give them all to me. There we go. Good enough for me. And that'll get some of that pesky starch out of storage because we have way too much of it right now. I think that if I take in immigrants, I definitely think 100% that I should start increasing my productivity by making a few more of these factories down here. Maybe even making it so that... So is this one... Where does my metal go? I would assume that most of my metal goes down right here. Correctamundo. I think we could also use another... Well, actually, the mines are laying pretty much... They're not being used right now, so... I don't know. We'll figure it out shortly. Either way, that should have bought us a little bit of storage space. So yeah, that cleared out 30% of our storage space. That's good enough for right now. Food and meat are going down here. We got those at 40 and 30 meals. Okay, let's go ahead. It's time. Let's turn immigration back on. And so I don't really care what we get. I don't think we need guards, though, because we have 8 of those. So we could put all the points into something else, and I wouldn't complain about it. Medics would be nice. It's always good to have people that know how to fix human beings. Think of us as a machine, then. It's nice to have the... human mechanic around, or don't they call him the organic mechanic in Mad Max? The organic mechanic. I love some of this stuff. Like, the setting of Mad Max is really one of those underrepresented things where I think they could actually have whole book series, movie series and everything else. Not even about Max anymore, just like things happening in various parts of the world. That's always one of the big things that I dislike about Fallout, is every single game takes place in the United States. And in fact, all of the earliest games started in California, which part of me wants to be like, yeah, and be excited about that because I'm a Californian. But for real, I'd like to see other people represented. I would love to see what happened in Canada. I would love to see what happened in England or anywhere really in Europe after the nuclear war happened. Anything. I'd love to see the other side of the story from the Chinese perspective as well, because apparently we went to war with the Chinese or something like that in Fallout. And so I'd like to see the story told from everybody's perspective, just because it's more interesting that way. We've got ourselves a couple of biologists right there, which is going to be good, because we actually could use some more biologists. In case you hadn't noticed, we have a lot of plants around here that fairly frequently seem to have issues, and so we need somebody to come by and take care of it. I don't know who fixes this over here. I'm pretty sure it's a biologist. They come over and they just maintain those things right there. So 2 more biologists should make us pretty productive, or ugly productive, depending on how you want to look and how you feel right now. How do you want it? How do you feel? I actually don't like that song that much. That's like one of those songs that like people really, really like whenever it comes on the radio, but I think there are much better Tupac jams. You got going on over here. You want some starch? I will sell you a butt ton of starch. I mean, technically, I could use another constructor bot, too, but I doubt that you have one. Oh, really? It's only a 30% commission on that? Well, then there you go. Let's make this happen, G. Get ourselves another robot, and that'll get rid of our ridiculous quantities of starch that we have just, like, littering this entire place over here. I love how it looks once they all go in there and they all start carrying things. So cool. And they take the order so quickly. Like, some games like No Moria, they don't really, like, do the jobs as quickly as you want them to do. Even if you have, like, everything set up. I played a lot of Nemoria, and with Nemoria, you sometimes just accept that the gnome that's supposed to be doing something will be doing some other mundane task. I do like how internally the game has already ordered the tasks that it thinks are the most important, and it's just like, man, do this, do this, do this, you know? And I don't have to worry about it on little productivity screens or anything. Manufacturing limits looking pretty sexy. I would still like for those manufacturing limits to be in this menu right here, maybe in this blank space for the processing plant, and then down here it would have the things that the factory produces. I don't know, it seems more, I like how they have it condensed in one menu, but I don't think it would hurt to have it in both places. And I don't think it would really clutter it either, because these menus are actually, you know, they're pretty wide open right now. In fact, they could just cut this off right here and drop it down lower, and it would be okay. Oh man, Carrier 6 has been damaged. Well, I guess it's a good thing that we bought another one then. I should probably get myself some kind of like robot creation going on. Until I do, I think I'm gonna be doomed to walk this earth robotless. We should be alright over here. Taking a look at where they're trying to store stuff right now. I wonder what distinct... I think it's just because they're closer. Got a biologist and 2 workers right there, so that'll be nice. I will probably... Our oxygen is set up for how many people right now? I think oxygen is here. Yes or no? Aw, man. Welfare is only good right now. That's disappointing. Oxygen usage is in one of these. It's probably right in front of me. I saw it somewhere. I'll figure it out later. I don't want to bore you on camera, but we probably need a new oxygen generator is the point that I'm getting at here. So why not build one now? Let's go ahead and do that. We got an O2 generator. Yeah, that looks good to me. We'll put the O2 generator out there. I will more than likely, if I could get a mine over here, that'd be good too. Get a mine right here and then just put an airlock on this side and have this swooply do all the way around, kind of. I don't know, either way, it's getting fairly expansive to begin with. We got a pretty good base going on right now. We've got almost 100 citizens. We're about to get that Centurion milestone. Got another trader over here. I think I got rid of all my starch, so I'm going to hold off on trading anything for right now. I would love to have people working in mines, though. So we got 1 person in each mine. I've noticed the entire time that we've been having trouble keeping our ore in stock. And that might be one of our big issues here, is that we just can't get enough ore. But up until we have enough workers, it's kind of like, what are you going to do? In fact, I could modify, for right now, I could modify our immigration policy so that it, like, 100% favors... Or 50%, that works too. So that it favors workers a little bit heavier, because I think that we could use them at the moment. We've got a lot of jobs that need to be filled in. And so what I've noticed is that, I don't know if it works like this, it's just an observation, I'm very biased in this regard. It seems like it gives you whatever you need the most, regardless of the percentages that you put in. Like, yeah, the percentages do matter, but at a certain point it seems to taper off workers once there's no more worker jobs. Or it seems like it tapers off biologists once there's not enough biologist work to go around. You see what I mean? And so I try to keep an eye on it, but there we go. We got people eating in here now, so that's good. I wonder if they could use another table. I'm going to put in another table real quick. Maybe a vid screen. What did we get? Well, we got something. I don't know what we got, but we got something, so that'll be something. They're back to producing all kinds of goodies right now. That's fantastic, because what I really need, I just need people in the mines. Nobody wants to work in a mine, but hey, somebody's got to be a miner, otherwise the world ceases to function. I watched a documentary about silver miners in like Peru or Chile or something like that, or Chile, and it was a gnarly documentary. Like, these are like 12 and 13-year-old kids using dynamite and shit, like deep inside the earth, mining for silver and things of that nature. And they have these big creepy statues of Satan that they pray to down in the bottoms of the mine. His name, I think they call him El Tio, which is just uncle or the uncle. And so anyways, they have like big statues to Satan down in the middle of the earth, so that they pray to the devil so that like he'll protect them from like cave-ins and stuff like that. It's pretty wild. I can't remember what the documentary is called right now, but you should definitely watch it. Give you some perspective on, like, you know, the shitty jobs that other people in the world have to do. No joke. Hella crazy. I was like, oh my god, that job seems like it would just be miserable. Just little kids running around in a cave with dynamite. I'll probably leave immigration open until we hit the 100 point. I think the 100 spot is where I'll stop it off for right now. I think we have more than enough guards. I think all of our security needs are pretty much taken care of. I would like to have somebody monitor. So we have nobody working these right now, but I do think that it'd be a good idea to get us one of the celestial laser things. What do we need? We need a telescope first. How much metal do I have? 13. Okay, let's build a telescope then. Does the telescope have to be like anywhere near the base, or does it not matter? I assume that it probably doesn't matter. I'll put it right there, I guess. I think the I think the telescope probably works. We got ourselves another engineer right there. That's fine. I like engineers. They build my stuff. They make my life easier. As the starches start to pile back up. I like that we produce so much starch. It's just like this weird gimme crop that I can sell off and get rid of whenever I need other things. Once the telescope is up and running, I will advise that we should put in our laser cannon. It won't even let you start building it until it's done. The monolith is pointless, a way to contact vessels traveling near your planet. A starport versus a landing pad. I think the starport's a little bit bigger. I'd prefer that the starport be somewhere near security. I mean, how dope would that be if you could make it so that the starport forcibly, you put the airlock on one side, and the next thing next to the airlock is just full of guards, so everybody that comes into your base essentially gets up-downed by the guards real fast before they come through. That might help with invaders and stuff like that, which is a part of the game we haven't even touched on, because I want everything to be nice and solid before we go in that direction. I will more than likely, we've got another immigration ship. Looks like we got a worker and a biologist out of that one. Sounds good to me. This one needs somebody working in it. Or somebody manning it, I guess. Disaster prediction chance 40%. So is that dependent on... So do we have... Let's say that we have the engineer down here. Does one guy give us 40%? It looks like one guy gives us 40%. So we may want to round this out a little bit better and add a couple more. We're going to have somebody babysitting the telescope here. That'll get us to 100. Now that does 100% use up a couple of engineers that would otherwise be doing other jobs, but sounds okay to me for right now. I think another security substation would not be the worst idea, but as of right now, I went through in between episodes, and it looks like every single room is being watched by security right now, which means that we're doing a pretty good job at keeping everybody safe. So the telescope console, we should have people on that. The other issue we may have is that we might not have enough engineers to get it done. We got another worker off that guy right there, assuming that it was the dude that was coming in off the plane. Food is taking a dip. It's down by a decent amount. Let's go ahead and slow the game down real quick. This diner over here appears to be getting the job done. What about you, sir? What if... So food's taking a little dip right now. It may be time for us to put in another biosphere around somewhere. I would say to go with a big one rather than a little one, because it does make life easier. And this all goes to this stockpile right here. Okay. Let's make our laser. Try to stay on top of some of these issues we've been having. I figure it doesn't matter where the laser goes, right? Like, does it matter where the laser goes? Oh, that spot's pretty good right there. Yeah, just do that. That's fine with me. Put the laser in right there. I think they can walk over these right here. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It should be fine, I think. Maybe. And if it isn't fine, I would suggest we should get rid of those connections right there, too. And maybe instead do something like that. So I'll keep an eye on that right there. And if that actually blocks people from going through, I'll cancel it on. I don't know if these little things they can step over. Yeah, it looks like they can. Yeah, they can step over those. Okay, so that's cool. I'm not going to worry about the cabling laying around then. Our cable solution's perfectly fine as is. Power situation. How are we looking on power? Hey, I'm trying to click you right now. The grid is holding up well, provided that we have wind. When we don't have wind, though, it looks like we have a pretty rapid drop-off. As in, like, we hit a cliff, so... a little bit terrifying. We're up to 92 right now. Life should be okay. Let's go biodome right here, and I'm going to make it a big one. Is that one right there an end fastener? Oh, I didn't know that about dormitories. Learning things. Learning things every day. So I think I wanted a biodome down here, and I think it's going to be a big one. It'd be nicer if I could keep all the biologists sort of located around the same general area, but sometimes you don't get what you want out of life. Shit, we got a solar flare coming in. Let's yellow alert everybody. I need everybody back inside the base, please. Why are they going all the way around that way? There's an airlock right there, amigos. I mean, we got plenty of drugs, so whatever. They'll get fixed. But for right now, we'll wait it out. What's the grid looking like at max capacity right now? It's looking at like 500. That's pretty damn good. We're filling up cells really, really rapidly. I think we should be able to ignore our power system for a while we just expand out in other directions. So we got the biodome right here. Let's go ahead and get that going. Alright, solar flare has ended. So it's time to lower that security alert so that we don't get behind on our ore and outside stuff. Got parts being produced right there, and in fact, we're going through parts pretty rapidly. Or we're going through spares anyways. I think we might have to increase our spares production, which then also means that I would have to improve my ability at mining. But the workers really don't seem to want to mine. It seems like one of those things that they do last, if at all. I mean, they spit out ore every now and again, but unless you're working at max capacity, most of the time they seem to just ignore it. So the gun. We've got an interception chance of 40%. That's because people are not working on these consoles in the best way that I would like. So with the 40%, I don't think the telescope consoles actually stack. Because when we had two people right there, it didn't say 80%. It definitely still said 40%. Hey, a meteor was destroyed. Hell yeah, that was badass. I'm proud of ourselves right now. Well, since we're out here being badasses and destroying meteors and shit, this guy should be built in just a minute, and I'm probably going to go full bore on that one, just producing everything I possibly can. The laboratory is working at peak capacity. Man, we're shooting lasers all over the place. Hell yeah, it's turned into Star Wars up in here. What I always liked was the big gun on Hoth that was like, bakow, bakow, the big ion cannon that could like disable an entire ship with one shot. That thing was super dope. Yeah, when I was a kid, I was especially fascinated by that big ion gun. For whatever reason, it made me happy. Got a lot of starches. I would love to get myself a constructor bot. A lot of drugs, too. Like a weird amount of drugs. What if I could take all of your ore right now? Gets us pretty close. I don't think I'm going to be able to even it out much more. There we go. Give him a whole bunch of medical supplies and whatnot, because I don't think we're going to be needing them. We've got like 20-something medical supplies. We're producing a lot of medical supplies right now, so I think what we really need is more ore. A sandstorm is detected. I'll probably leave things up and running. I'm not that worried about a sandstorm. I should also probably put an airlock over here. I think that looks okay to me. I love the way that it reorients itself based on the connection that it makes. Little things like that, like you don't appreciate it completely until you've played other games that do not do those little things. And this game is just so polished with regards to its UI and like the things that you want to get done. It does everything for you. It's one of the most low overhead colony management games I've ever seen, where you can just kind of build and have a good time, and the mundane stuff that normally you like screw up and then you're like, ugh, I gotta rebuild this, I gotta redo this because I did this wrong. You can mostly just like ignore it and get your thing done. Over there. I'm hoping that I'll divert some people off to this side of the base. And this area is a little bit busy. I do concur. However, how are we looking on colonists right now? 94. Said I'd let it run until we hit 100, and I still am going to stick by that. I do think that our efficiency is going up right now pretty considerably as far as... There's another sandstorm coming in too. Alright, whatever. Don't really care that much. I just want you guys to build stuff and get things done. It's going to dim out on us for a minute too. How are we making it with our power grid? I think we're pretty much towing the line completely off wind right now. I'll probably try to keep this clear over here because I'm going to build this entire area is going to be built by the time I get going. We got another airlock down here, which is absolutely fantastic. And so that'll give people an easy way to get back inside the base when they're on this side. I may bulldoze this and then build some other things in here, like maybe another dining room. And then once that's done, oh, we shot down another meteor. I'll fill this in with like a dining room and whatever. And then this airlock will have to function. Maybe I'll put a second one over this way, but this area could be then filled in with stuff that we want. And that'd be super dope. The laser needs to sound more beefy. I don't know. The little... I don't know. It's not... It needs to be like... Ba-down! Ba-doosh! I don't know. It's got to do like a big, like, little kid making a gun noise sound. That'd be the best way to do it. I don't know if I can have high production right now, but I definitely need it. And so I think I'm just going to go all in, and we'll just keep an eye on it. Tomatoes. Wheat. Or I'm sorry, that's lettuce. We are using up some of our plastics right now. Plastic production appears to have gotten stopped off doing something. Got another colonist right there. I don't know what we got, but I would really look... Actually, I would love it if you got a pop-up down here that just said, you have gotten one new biologist, or blah, 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 biologist has arrived. Make life a little bit easier. It's not going to dig around too much. For right now, all we really need is workers, though, so... Speaking of which, how are we doing on workers? Workers, my favorite guys. 32 of them. I lied. Okay, so... Let's go ahead and open up to medics again. We'll open up to guards as well. Just so we can have a few more people manning the ramparts before this gets any nastier. Lettuce pad has been built. You know, you'd think you'd build those vertically higher. Like, the way that I would do it is, first of all, I wouldn't use a circular room. I'd have a room that was a rectangle, and then I would have rows that go all the way up to the ceiling. Ooh, we got that one, too. The interception rate seems better than, like, 50%. Oh, it has to recharge. Look at that. It's got energy. Okay. They're intercepting a lot of meteors, so I'm not even caring about it right now. It'll be interesting to see on some of the harder levels how quickly you have to work towards the laser gun if there's a lot more meteors that cause problems more frequently. On this side, we should have biologists doing their thing. I would not lament the presence of a bar in this area to make people a little bit happier. I don't know if I want to eat up space like that with the company dorms. For right now, they went through that ore with a quickness. Jesus, they went through that real fast, didn't they? Oh, wow, we're almost out of spare parts. Okay, so that's going to suck. Let's go ahead and manufacture more spares, since apparently we have used a whole bunch of those. And then I think we're probably going to have to make our fabrication goals a little bit more concrete as well. I would actually love it. I don't want to do that. Stop. There we go. And so what I'd like to do now... I need a fabricator. It's a little bit closer to a stockpile. I mean, if I could get a little bit closer to a mine, too, that wouldn't be terrible. I could probably just do away with this little lab down here since I've got a big one up top. I think that may be what I do. It can't be producing that much food for us. Plastics are back up. Either way, hold on. Don't know where I want to drop this. If you're wondering what I'm caught up on, I'm not sure where I want to put the fabricator just yet. We've got our mushroom pads doing their thing. We got our bio stuff working over here. Realistically, were I to start over, I would have done things a little bit differently. I would have had like a food center. I would have had a manufacturing center, and then I would have had a power center, and then I would have a living quarters, and I would have done it very, very differently. Like, everything works for right now, but I would have done things much less strangely on my second try around. Still, it's not too late. We can still make things work. Just kind of have to eyeball our options here. 2 workers inside of there, 3 workers inside of there. Could not have asked for better as far as ore is concerned. It has to be on top of mountains, but sometimes you're not close enough to make it work. Oh, look at that right there. That'll work. Kinda. It's got to be connected to other stuff. I mean, I suppose technically I could just keep it close like that, and then we could draw power from right there, and then we'd have another mine on that side. Food should be alright for a little while. The brewskis and whatnot are flowing. There we go. This place is getting serious traffic now. This place is getting some serious traffic. I'm going to break off the episode right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Planetbase. I will see you all later. I think things are fleshing out. We're looking very, very good as a colony. Not too many problems that have to be dealt with. I just can't wait to see where it's all going from here. I'll see you next time.